Tonight, I wish to speak to you about a profound truth that has remained hidden from the masses, yet has always existed in plain sight for those with eyes to see. You, will be a millionaire in 1 month from this very moment. This is not a prediction, it is an absolute law, as certain as gravity when you understand and apply the principles I will share with you tonight. Many will dismiss such a statement as fantasy, but I tell you now, those who scoff remain bound by the limitations they have accepted as their reality. You, however, have been drawn to these words by an invisible thread of divine timing. Your presence here is no accident. You have been chosen, or rather a deeper part of you has chosen to awaken to your true creative power. What I am about to reveal has transformed paupers into princes, has lifted the downtrodden into positions of abundance, and has manifested fortunes where previously there existed only lack. This transformation awaits you not through striving, struggling, or the conventional methods the world teaches, but through an internal shift so simple yet so profound that most will overlook it entirely. The world around you. Every circumstance, every dollar in your bank account, every opportunity that appears or seems absent, is nothing more than the outpicturing of your consciousness made visible. The millions you seek do not need to be earned through years of toil. They already exist within you as a state of consciousness waiting to be claimed. Tonight, I invite you to shed the old garments of limitation and step naked into a new assumption, the assumption of wealth beyond measure. For when you assume the feeling of already being what you desire to be, the outer world must reshape itself to match your inner knowing. This is not positive thinking or wishful fantasy. This is the fundamental law of consciousness that governs all manifestation. I am. These two words are the most powerful in any language. When you declare, I am wealthy, I am abundant, I am a millionaire, you are not speaking of a future state to be attained. You are claiming a present reality, in consciousness that must externalize itself in your world, for the outer must always conform to the inner. This is the immutable law of your being. Most seek wealth through external means, investments, business ventures, endless labor, unaware that they approach the matter backward. They believe that once they have the millions, then they will feel the security, freedom, and power that wealth provides. But I tell you this, you must first capture and maintain the feeling of wealth, and then the outer symbols of that state will appear as naturally as fruit appears on a tree. Your consciousness is the only reality. All that you perceive as out there is merely consciousness objectified. Therefore, the millions you seek are not out there to be attained. They are states of consciousness to be assumed. As within, so without, always and without exception. Consider this. Every millionaire, every person of wealth in this world, was once exactly where you are now. What separates them from others is not superior intelligence, favorable circumstances, or even extraordinary effort. It is that they knowingly or unknowingly assumed the state of wealth in consciousness before it manifested in their world. I recall a man who came to me in dire financial straits. His business was failing, debts were mounting, and bankruptcy seemed inevitable. I instructed him in this very law, to assume, with complete conviction, that he was already a man of extraordinary wealth. Each night before sleep, he would close his eyes and feel the distinct satisfaction of abundant wealth. He would mentally touch the fine fabrics of expensive clothing, feel the leather of a luxury car's interior, hear the sounds of congratulations from friends and family on his financial success. Within 3 weeks, an opportunity presented itself that had been there all along, but had remained invisible to him in his previous state of consciousness. This opportunity, once seized, yielded him not just the financial relief he sought, but wealth beyond his initial imaginings. The outer circumstances rearranged themselves to match his new inner assumption. You may wonder, is it really possible to become a millionaire in just 1 month? I say to you, time is a construct of consciousness. In the realm of divine imagination, where all creation takes place, there is no time. When you plant a seed in consciousness by assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, the bridge of events that leads to its manifestation arranges itself with perfect precision and divine timing. Some may achieve the full manifestation of millions within days. For others, the complete rearrangement of circumstances may take slightly longer. But I assure you of this. When you assume the state of wealth with complete conviction, the first evidences will begin to appear within days, sometimes hours. Money will come from unexpected sources. Opportunities will present themselves that were previously invisible to you. Decisions you make will be guided by a new wisdom that belongs to the state of wealth you have assumed. Your task is not to determine how this transformation will occur. The how belongs to a higher intelligence that orchestrates the entire universe. Your task is simply to assume the state of the wish fulfilled, and to live from that assumption with unwavering faith. Faith is nothing more than consciousness directed in a specific way. It is not hoping, wishing, or believing that something might happen. True faith is the complete conviction that what you desire is already yours. It is living from the end, experiencing now what seems to exist only in some imagined future. Many fail in manifestation because they continually place their desire in an imagined future that never arrives. I will be wealthy someday, they say, unknowingly pushing their desire perpetually ahead of them. Instead, you must bring your desire into the present moment. I am wealthy now. Feel it, know it, live from it, and watch as the outer world reshapes itself to match this inner knowing. Tonight, as you retire to sleep, I invite you to engage in a simple yet powerful practice. Lie comfortably on your bed, close your physical eyes, and with your inner eye, see yourself in a scene that would imply your newfound wealth. Perhaps it is looking at a bank statement showing millions in your account. Perhaps it is the face of your financial advisor congratulating you on your extraordinary financial position. Or perhaps it is simply the feeling of complete freedom from financial concern as you generously give to causes dear to your heart. Whatever scene you choose, step into it fully. Do not observe it as if watching a movie. Be an active participant. Feel the emotions, hear the sounds, touch the objects in your imagined scene. Make it as vivid and as real as possible. Then maintain this scene until it takes on the tone of reality, until it feels more real than the room in which your physical body lies. Do this not once, but every night and during your waking hours. Whenever doubt or the appearance of contrary evidence arises, gently return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. For remember, your outer world is merely your consciousness objectified. It may temporarily reflect the old state, but as you persist in your new assumption, the outer must, by immutable law, transform to reflect your new state of consciousness. The millions you seek are not a distant possibility. They are your immediate birthright when you assume the consciousness of already possessing them. The only separation between you and vast wealth is a thought, a state of consciousness. Change the thought, assume a new state, and you change your entire world. You have been taught that time is required for the fulfillment of your desires, that hard work and struggle are necessary for achievement. But I tell you this, these are merely beliefs that have been programmed into your consciousness. They have no reality beyond your acceptance of them. In consciousness, fulfillment can be instantaneous. When faith is perfect, many of you may be thinking of your current circumstances, the bills that need paying, the limited income, the financial obligations that seem insurmountable. I say to you, give these appearances no power. They are merely shadows of past thinking. A new assumption, if persisted in, will dissolve these appearances as surely as the sun dissolves morning mist. For consciousness is the only reality, and all things are possible to consciousness directed with purpose and faith. The millions you desire exist now in the realm of infinite possibility. Your task is to bring them into your experience through the power of assumption. Tonight, you stand at the threshold of a new life. The path to wealth beyond measure has been clearly marked for you. Will you hesitate at the entrance, clinging to old beliefs of limitation? Or will you boldly step forward, claiming your divine inheritance of abundance? The choice is yours, but know this. You have not encountered these words by chance. A deeper part of you, the true self that knows no limitation, has guided you here because you are ready for this transformation. You are ready to claim the wealth that has always been rightfully yours. So tonight, as you drift into sleep, do so with the absolute knowing: I am a millionaire now. The seed has been planted in the fertile soil of consciousness, and by immutable law, it must bear fruit in your manifest world. The millions are already yours in consciousness, and what is true in consciousness must objectify itself in your world of form. Let me reveal to you now the exact mechanism through which this transformation occurs, the precise mental shift that will bring millions into your experience within a single month. What I am about to share is not taught in business schools or financial seminars. It is the hidden knowledge of consciousness that the wealthy have always known, either intuitively or through direct instruction. The outer world, with all its conditions and circumstances, is nothing more than consciousness objectified. Every dollar, every opportunity, every circumstance in your financial life is the direct result of your state of consciousness made visible. To change your financial reality, you must first change your consciousness of wealth. Most live their entire lives never realizing this fundamental truth. They struggle against outer conditions, trying desperately to change them while maintaining the very state of consciousness that created those conditions. This is why so many remain trapped in financial limitation, despite their best efforts to escape it. The secret lies in what I call the law of assumption. This law states that if you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, if you inhabit the state of consciousness of already being wealthy, the outer world must reshape itself to match this inner conviction. It has no choice in the matter, for the outer is always a perfect reflection of the inner. Let me illustrate this with the story of Robert, a man who came to me some years ago. Robert was deeply in debt, working multiple jobs just to stay afloat. His financial situation seemed hopeless by all conventional standards. After learning this principle, Robert began a simple but powerful practice. Each night, before sleep, he would lie quietly in his bed and construct an imaginal scene, implying the fulfillment of his desire for wealth. He chose to imagine opening his mail and finding a bank statement showing an account balance of several $1,000,000. He would feel the paper between his fingers, see the numbers clearly on the statement, and most importantly, feel the overwhelming sense of relief and gratitude that such wealth would bring. He persisted in this practice nightly, regardless of the contrary evidence his waking hours presented. During the day, when bills arrived or financial pressures mounted, he would quietly return to the feeling of his wish fulfilled. He would remind himself, this is merely the shadow of old thinking. My new state is one of immense wealth, and that alone is reality. Within 10 days, something extraordinary happened. A business contact whom Robert had met briefly years before called him unexpectedly. This man had been developing a new technology and needed a partner with Robert's specific expertise. Expertise Robert hadn't even recognized as valuable. The partnership was formed, and within 3 weeks they secured major funding. Within that single month, Robert's financial situation transformed completely. The millions he had imagined in consciousness became his reality in the world of form. Was this mere coincidence? Absolutely not. It was the perfect operation of the law of assumption. When Robert changed his state of consciousness, the outer world had no choice but to reorganize itself, to match his new inner conviction. Now let me guide you through the exact process to replicate this transformation in your own life. First, you must understand that your consciousness exists on 2 levels: the conscious and the subconscious. Your conscious mind is what you are aware of in your waking hours. It is analytical, rational, often critical. Your subconscious mind is the deeper realm that accepts whatever is impressed upon it as reality and then works ceaselessly to externalize that impression in your world. The key to rapid manifestation lies in impressing your subconscious mind with the absolute conviction that you are already a millionaire. This is most effectively done in a state akin to sleep, when the conscious mind's resistance is lowered. Each night, as you lie in bed, physically relax your entire body. Start with your feet and move upward, consciously releasing all tension. Once physically relaxed, quiet your mind. Let thoughts come and go without attachment until mental stillness prevails. In this receptive state, construct a scene that would imply your wish fulfilled. See yourself sitting with your financial advisor who is congratulating you on becoming a millionaire. Feel the handshake. Hear the words of congratulation. Notice the smile on their face and the respect in their eyes. Or perhaps see yourself making a donation of $1 million to a cause dear to your heart, feeling the joy and fulfillment such generosity brings. Whatever scene you choose, ensure it implies the fulfillment of your desire. Then enter the scene fully. Be not a spectator, but a participant. Feel the emotions, engage your senses. See, hear, touch, taste, and smell the reality of your imagined scene. The secret is to persist in this scene until it takes on the feeling of reality, until it feels more real than the room in which your physical body lies. When the imaginal act feels natural, when you feel the satisfaction of desire fulfilled, the work is done. The impression has been made on the subconscious mind, and by law it must externalize in your world. Repeat this practice nightly, and also during the day whenever you can enter a similar state of relaxed awareness. The cumulative effect of these impressions is what creates rapid transformation. Remember, you are not trying to make something happen in the future. You are claiming a state that exists now in consciousness, knowing that the outer must conform to the inner. This is not wishful thinking or self-deception. It is the practical application of an immutable law. Many fail because they mentally place their desire in some distant future. I will be wealthy someday. This ensures the desire remains always beyond reach. Instead, you must bring your desire into the present moment. I am wealthy now. Feel the reality of it in consciousness, and the outer circumstances must reshape themselves accordingly. Throughout your day, be vigilant of your thoughts and feelings regarding money. When you catch yourself thinking from a state of lack or limitation, gently shift back to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Say to yourself, "This thought does not serve me. I know who I really am. I am wealthy beyond measure." And that alone is the reality. You may encounter moments when the outer evidence seems to contradict your inner knowing. Bills may still arrive, financial obligations may still demand attention. Give these appearances no power. Address what needs addressing, but do so from your new state of consciousness. Handle these temporary manifestations of past thinking with the calm assurance that they are dissolving as your new state takes precedence. I recall another student of mine, Sarah, who applied these principles during a time of extreme financial hardship, with 3 children to support and mounting debts. Her situation seemed desperate, yet she faithfully constructed her imaginal scene each night, seeing herself living in abundance, providing generously for her children, and experiencing the freedom that financial security brings. For 2 weeks, no outer change was apparent. The bills continued to accumulate. The pressure seemed to intensify. Yet Sarah persisted in her inner work, refusing to be discouraged by appearances. Then, in the 3rd week, the first evidence of change appeared. An unexpected refund arrived from a tax adjustment she had known nothing about. While not the million she ultimately desired, it provided immediate relief, and more importantly, confirmed that the law was working. Encouraged, she intensified her practice, living more and more consistently from her new state of consciousness. By the end of that month, a series of events had unfolded that completely transformed her financial situation. A skill she had developed as a hobby was recognized by a former employer who offered her a position that quadrupled her previous income. Simultaneously, an investment she had made years earlier and had written off as worthless suddenly became valuable due to a technological development. Within that single month, her financial trajectory changed completely, setting her firmly on the path to the millions she had imagined in consciousness. The key in both Robert's and Sarah's cases was the same. They persisted in their assumption despite all contrary evidence. They understood that the outer world might temporarily reflect old patterns of consciousness, but if they remained faithful to their new assumption, the outer must inevitably conform to the inner. This is the great secret of manifestation. Persistence in your assumption regardless of appearance. Many abandon their imaginal work at the first sign of contradiction, not realizing that this period when outer circumstances have not yet caught up with inner changes is precisely when persistence is most crucial. The bridge of events that leads from your current financial state to the millions you desire is being built the moment you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This bridge is not constructed in time as you know it, but exists already in consciousness. Your consistent assumption allows you to walk this bridge, bringing into visibility what already exists in the realm of conception. As you apply these principles, you may find that money comes to you through unexpected channels. A business opportunity may suddenly present itself. An idea may come that, when acted upon, yields extraordinary returns. People may be drawn to you who bring the connections or resources you need. Do not limit the ways in which your millions may come to you. Your role is to maintain the state of wealth and consciousness. The means of its manifestation belongs to a higher intelligence. Some may question, is this not magical thinking? Is this not self-deception? I answer emphatically, this is neither magic nor deception. This is the application of the fundamental law of consciousness that has operated in all manifestations since time began. You have been using this law all your life, unknowingly creating both the desirable and undesirable conditions of your experience. Now you are simply using it consciously with purpose and direction. The feeling is the secret. Not mere intellectual acceptance, not repeated affirmations without emotion, but the actual feeling of being wealthy now. When you capture and maintain this feeling, you have the key that unlocks the treasury of the universe. Tonight, as you practice the technique I have outlined, know this. You are engaging not in an exercise of imagination as the world understands it, but in the very act of creation as God performs it. For your consciousness is God in action, and your persistent assumption is God's creative power made manifest through you. Now I wish to reveal to you a truth so profound that it transforms everything I have shared thus far into something even greater. What I've been describing as a means to become a millionaire in 1 month is in fact the very same process by which worlds are created and through which the entire universe maintains its existence. The millions you seek are but a symbol, a material representation of a far greater reality that belongs to you by divine right. When you truly understand and apply the principle I have shared, you will realize that financial abundance is merely one expression of a power so vast that it staggers the imagination. You are not merely learning how to manifest money. You are awakening to your true identity as the operant power of the universe itself. The I am that you declare is not your personal self with all its limitations and history. The I am is the very presence of God individualized as you, containing within itself all the wealth, all the wisdom, all the power that exists throughout creation. This is the profound mystery that all great spiritual teachers have pointed toward. You are not a human being seeking a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being having a temporary human experience. And as that spiritual being, you have access to infinite abundance right now. When you assume the feeling of being a millionaire, you are actually aligning yourself with the abundance that is your natural state. The limitations you have experienced, the lack, the struggle, the feeling of not enough, these were never your true reality. They were merely the shadows cast by your own misunderstanding of who and what you really are. I tell you now with absolute certainty, your transformation into a millionaire within 1 month is not merely possible. It is the natural expression of your true self. When you remove the barriers of false belief, the only thing that has ever stood between you and unlimited wealth is your acceptance of limitation as your reality. Consider this revelation. Every time you have said, I am, followed by any statement, you have been using the creative power of the universe. Every time you have said, I am broke, or I am struggling financially, you have been creating that reality just as powerfully as when you now declare, I am wealthy. Beyond measure, the power does not fluctuate. It is constant. The only variable is how you direct this power through your conscious assumptions. And now that you understand this, you can never again blame circumstances, conditions, other people, or anything outside yourself for your financial situation. You have discovered the source of all creation, and it is within you. This is freedom at its most profound level. This is the liberty that makes all other forms of freedom possible. When you truly know that your consciousness is the only reality, and that by changing your consciousness, you change your entire world, you become the master of your destiny in a way few humans ever experience. I urge you now to contemplate the magnitude of what you have discovered. The same principle that will make you a millionaire within 1 month is the identical principle that can transform every aspect of your life, your relationships, your health, your spiritual awakening, your contribution to humanity. There is no area of life that exists outside the law of consciousness, for consciousness is all there is. Many who achieve financial abundance through these principles discover something unexpected. The millions were never the true object of their desire. What they really sought was the feeling that they believed millions would bring: security, freedom, peace, the ability to contribute, the experience of living without limitation. And here is the great revelation. You can assume the feeling of these states directly without waiting for the millions to appear. In fact, when you do so, the millions often come more easily because you are no longer approaching them from a state of desperate need, but from a state of fulfillment. Tonight, as you engage in your imaginal work, expand your awareness beyond the symbol of financial wealth to the feeling of absolute freedom that underlies it. Feel not just the millions in your account, but the limitless nature of your true being. Know yourself as abundance itself, as wealth incarnate, as the source from which all supply flows. From this expanded awareness, you will find that the path to financial abundance shortens dramatically. What might have taken a month may manifest in weeks or days because you are no longer trying to get something you don't have. You are simply expressing what you already are. This is the secret of the most successful individuals throughout history. They identified with the state of abundance at the level of being, not merely at the level of having. They knew themselves as wealth, as success, as the very source of abundance. Their millions were simply the outer reflection of this inner knowing. You stand now at this same threshold of transformation. The choice before you is simple yet profound. Will you continue to identify with limitation, lack, and struggle? Or will you claim your true identity as the abundance of the universe, individualized as you? The evidence of your choice will manifest in your bank account within 1 month. But the real transformation occurs the moment you make this choice in consciousness. In that instant, you are already a millionaire in the only reality that matters. The reality of consciousness. The outer manifestation is merely the shadow catching up with the substance. As you fall asleep tonight, surrender completely to this new self-concept. Let go of all efforts to make it happen. Release all anxiety about when or how it will manifest. Simply rest in the absolute knowing. I am wealth itself. I am abundance incarnate. I am the millionaire I desire to be. This complete surrender, this perfect faith is the soil in which the seed of your desire grows most rapidly. For in surrender, you cease the inner conflict that delays manifestation. In perfect faith, you align all levels of consciousness with your desire, creating a clear channel for its expression in form. Remember, what you are seeking is also seeking you. The millions you desire are actually desires of the infinite trying to express through you. Your role is not to force their manifestation, but to allow it by assuming the state that permits their natural flow into your experience. The universe is not withholding abundance from you. It is waiting for you to assume the state that allows you to receive what has always been yours. It waits for you to declare and feel with unwavering conviction, I am a millionaire now. Make this declaration not from a place of lack hoping to be filled, but from the quiet center of your being that knows it already possesses everything. Feel the truth of it in the very depths of your soul. Let it permeate every cell of your body until you vibrate with the absolute certainty of its reality. Then live from this state. Make decisions as a millionaire would make them. React to circumstances as a millionaire would react. Value your time as a millionaire would value it. Contribute to others as a millionaire would contribute, not in outer action alone, but in the consciousness from which those actions spring. As you do this, you will find synchronicities beginning to occur. Unexpected opportunities will present themselves. People who can assist in your financial elevation will be drawn to you. Ideas will come that, when acted upon, yield extraordinary returns. The entire universe will conspire to express the truth you have claimed in consciousness. This is not coincidence or random chance. This is the perfect operation of law. The law that states consciousness is the only reality, and that what you assume as true in consciousness must externalize itself in your world of form. I challenge you now to test this law. Apply it exactly as I have outlined. Assume the state of being a millionaire with complete conviction. Persist in this assumption, regardless of all contrary evidence. Live from the state of wealth fulfilled, not as a technique to get something, but as the expression of what you have realized yourself to be. Then watch as your outer world reshapes itself to match your inner knowing. See how the millions you have claimed in consciousness materialize in your manifest reality. Observe the perfect precision with which the law operates, bringing to you exactly what you have assumed to be true. And when the millions appear, as they must by immutable law, remember the deeper truth. These symbols of wealth came not from something outside yourself, but from the infinite abundance that you are. They are not gifts bestowed upon you by a capricious universe, but the natural expression of your true identity, recognized and claimed. Your task now is simple. Go within and do the work in consciousness that I have outlined. The outer world has no choice but to conform to your inner conviction. The millions must come because in consciousness, the only reality, they are already yours. Tonight, as you drift into sleep, do so with these final words impressed deeply in your heart and mind. I am wealth itself. I am abundance incarnate. I am already the millionaire I desire to be. It is done, it is finished. And so it is. Remember, your transformation into a millionaire within 1 month begins not with outer action, but with inner conviction. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Persist in that assumption, and watch as the law works perfectly to bring the outer into harmony with the inner. You have received the secret key that unlocks the treasury of the universe. Use it wisely, use it with faith, and prepare to step into the abundance that has always been your divine inheritance.